All those stories coming up, but we are going to begin with that encouraging news from the U.S. The economy has seen its biggest job gain in months. 151,000 jobs were added in the month of October. Now, that is after 5 months of losses. That news is sparking hopes that the labor market maybe finally turning a corner in the U.S. Still, we got to put that number in perspective here. It was not strong enough to actually bump the country's unemployment rate. It is still at 9.6%. So even as the hiring picks up in the U.S., President Barack Obama is acknowledging there is still a long way to go.
The unemployment rate is still unacceptably high, and we've got a lot of work to do. This recession caused a great deal of hardship, and it put millions of people out of work. So in order to repair this damage, in order to create the jobs to meet the large need, we need to accelerate our economic growth so that we are producing jobs at a faster pace. Because the fact is, an encouraging jobs report doesn't make a difference if you're still one of the millions of people who are looking for work. And I won't be satisfied until everybody who is looking for a job can find one.
You know, whenever the jobs numbers come out, we talk a lot about them, right? The numbers. But behind the figures on hiring and unemployment, there are thousands of faces. About 2 years ago, CNN spoke with several people who were looking for a job. And recently, our DEBORAH FEYERICK checked back in to see where their search has taken them.
When we first met these white-collar workers nearly 2 years
I
ago,
asked these folks whether they feel they're still solidly in the middle class. All of them said no.
DEBORAH FEYERICK there with the faces behind the numbers. So what effect did this latest jobs report have on the U.S. markets? It's been quite a week on the markets. We want to wrap that up too. Felicia Taylor has been watching it along with us. She is live from New York tonight with the latest from Wall Street. Felicia?
Hey, Colleen, you know, it really does help paint a picture when you see the reality and the difficulty of what the jobs picture has been. Truthfully, the market really didn't pay that much attention to it. It has been such a heavy week with everything that's gone on, especially with the midterm elections in the United States and, of course, the decision by the FOMC. So it really shrugged off the jobs number, and which is surprising because, frankly, it was better and a lot better because it was double what the expectations were in terms of those jobs that were created. Literally, it was a double what was expected. The Dow itself added about 9 points to finish at 11,000. Where was the Dow? I can't remember. It's 11,000 something. There we go. 11,444.
Yeah.
Thank you. NASDAQ and the S&P were up just fractionally. But like I said, the markets themselves really didn't pay much notice. What was a big number was Starbucks. That stock was up about 3.5% on profits, and they boosted their guidance for the year. And gold reached another high. It's inching ever so close to $1,400, which is incredible, frankly.
All right, Felicia, so with those job numbers, what do we know about the sectors? I mean, which sectors are actually doing a bit of hiring right now?
Well, that's what's really interesting. If you want to take a look at the jobs number and kind of break it down, you've got in the private sector, that really picked up, which was definitely a bit of a surprise. In the temp service, you added 35,000 jobs. In retail, you added 28,000. The question there, though, is whether or not that, too, would be part-time jobs because of the holiday shopping spree that's obviously, you know, just about to come upon us. In healthcare, they created 24,000. In bars and restaurants, the same amount. Mining was 8,000. Government payrolls, though, they shed about 8,000 jobs. So in the government sector, that is where there really needs to be some kind of a pickup. You know, but the number itself, a creation of 159,000 jobs, is not the number we need to see. We need to see more like 200 to 300,000 jobs being created every month in order to tick away at that 9.6% unemployment rate, which has held on now for such a long time. And the other thing that's difficult about this jobs report is that there are still an enormous amount, as you saw earlier in that piece, of part-time workers. There are literally some 17 million people that just cannot find a full-time job, and that's significant. Until that changes, and like I said, we get that 200 to 300,000 jobs created every month, it's just not going to make that much of a difference.
It's not budging at all. Felicia, thank you so much. Have a great weekend.
You too.